going on, everyone? So the Lakers suffered a tough loss to the Houston Rockets. They just, no AD, no size. Houston really just took advantage and exploited that. It was basically layup drills and dunk contests against the Lakers. They put up a fight for what they had. Nobody really had it, though, either. Like, nobody really stepped up. Our best player that night was Austin Reeves, and even he had his struggles. But overall, in general, we missed a ton of layups. The only reason we were really in that game at all, period, was free throws. I mean, we shot 37 free throws to Houston's 19. The refs were doing their part and trying to help us and keep us in it on this one. And we couldn't knock down the three ball, shot 25%, shot 38% from the field to their 53%. You're not winning games like that, right? That's just not, it's not in your favor. They also almost doubled us in rebounds. We had 36 with 11 offensive. They had 51 with 16 offensive. It was a rough game for the Lakers. It was tough to watch. But hey, got the Pelicans game. That was the more important, more significant game for obviously draft pick reasons, but also for tiebreakers and standing purposes, right? And we have several more games of that level, of that impact coming up, right? We got the Dallas Mavericks coming up. That's our next game. We got that game on Friday. And right now, we need to do everything we can to win that game. That game is massive. One, again, for tiebreaker purposes, for standing purposes, all of those things. And Luka and Kyrie are going to be back. They haven't played the last, couple games, handful of games, whatever it's been, 4 games, I think it's been. They haven't played those games, but it's the Lakers. And every time the Lakers play a team, guess who comes back? All of the guys that haven't played, all of the injured guys. We saw Brandon Ingram. We saw it with Sengun. We saw it with all these guys, right? Anytime we play a team and they have somebody that's absent, they play. Steph Curry, right? That was his first game back, the Lakers. Teams circle the calendar and go, oh, Lakers are coming back. Hey, guys, you know what? Take tomorrow off. We'll bring you back for the next game. It's just how it goes and how it seems. And Dallas, they do have their struggles, even with Luka and Kyrie. They absolutely do. They're not very good defensively at all. But they're a team that can put up in bunches. And last time we played them, we went down by like 30 and was an uphill battle. And we had LeBron for that game in which he got hurt. And it's been an absence that we definitely miss. But Dallas is a team that if we don't take serious or we don't come and bring our A game, then we could very likely lose that game. And the beauty is this time we are at home. This time we play at our home court. We're getting ready to start this 6-game homestand, which will be huge. And in that stand, we play several teams that we have to beat. Right, so you got the Dallas Mavericks, we got the Thunder during this homestand, and we got the Phoenix Suns, who would all be good. During this, little homestand we got the Mavericks, the Magic, the Suns, the Thunder, and the Bulls. That's 5 games. Sorry, I said 6. That's 5 games, right? In that 5-game homestand, we have to go like 4-1, at worst 3-2, but closer to 4-1. Ideally, you'd love to go 5-0. You'd love to beat the Mavericks, the Magic, the Suns, very likely without Kevin Durant, and then the Thunder. But more importantly than anything, you have to beat the Mavericks. You have to beat the Thunder. Those are the 2 teams that are, one, with us in the standings or ahead of us in the standings, and we need that for tiebreaker purposes, all of that stuff, right? Again, if you look at the standings, Lakers are currently sitting in the 10th seed. But we're only 2 games out of 6, and we have the tiebreaker over the Warriors, right? The Timberwolves, they've been struggling a lot lately, but they're also going to be getting Karl Anthony Towns back, right? And realistically at this point, unless we go on like some crazy, 8, 9, 10 game win streak, we're probably playing for that 7, 8 spot more than that 6 spot. But granted, again, we do have the Timberwolves coming up. You beat them. All of a sudden, who knows? It's not impossible for us to get there. Not just that, but after this homestand, LeBron will probably be back, right? So we have our last game on this homestand is March 26th against the Chicago Bulls. We might even get LeBron back for that game. If not, then very likely the following Bulls game, which would be March 29th. And then hopefully that gives him a game under his belt. And then we play the Timberwolves. And then from there, you got after the Timberwolves game, you got, 5 games left to end the season. And like at least 3 of them should be winnable. The Rockets and then the Jazz twice, right? And then you play the Clippers and the Suns. We'll see how those games go. But again, we're half a game out of 9th. We're a game out of 7th. You beat the Dallas Mavericks, all of a sudden, you're looking at the 8th seed, right? Because we would have the same record. They would be 35-36. We would be 35-36. So now you're tied for 8th. Hopefully Minnesota, they take an L, and then you're tied with Minnesota, and you're in that 7th, 8th spot. And all of a sudden, things are looking up. Things are looking good again, right? So we really have to take this serious. Anthony Davis will be back for that game. Anthony Davis, that's a game that he should absolutely dominate. It's a game that he should absolutely control and be able to really help run away with this. D'Angelo Russell, he needs to continue to play good. We need Austin Reeves to continue to play well. Everybody needs to really start stepping up, especially for these big games. We need to get up for these games. We got up for the Pelicans game. That was beautiful. And I know a lot of people felt like, oh, well, we blew the lead. We did it. We were coasting. There wasn't a single point in that game where you felt that they were going to blow that lead. I mean, seriously, like they were up 40 points. They were just trying to get out of that and get ready for the Rockets game, which unfortunately they didn't show up for. Can't have those games. You can't have those duds, right? We can't replicate that New York Knicks game. We have to show up. We have to deliver. We have to win these games, especially, again, those Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, like those games, the Jazz, when we play them, got to win those games. You beat the teams that are in front of us. You beat the teams that we have to beat in order for tiebreakers and stuff like that. That will all get equated at the end of the season. The Lakers will be in a really good spot, right? Because, look at it like this, right? So we have what? We have 13 games left, right? You have you have 10 or 12 games left, right? Here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games left, right? So in those 12 games, if you beat the Mavericks, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the Jazz twice, there's 5 wins out of those 12, right? Now, the rest of the way, you just need to win like 2 or 3 more games. And you're right there, right? You win, you go 7-5, you're at 500 to finish the season, which is probably good enough for the 8th seed, maybe even the 7th seed, depending, because again, a lot of these teams still play each other. You go 8 or 9-3, 8-4, 9-3, you're probably, you might even be able to get into the 6th seed with that, because you'd be, 3-4 games over 500, right? You might have a real chance to be there, right? Like, so it's still there. We have the easiest schedule in the league coming up. You have a ton of winnable games. You have this 5-game homestand, which outside of the Mavericks should be relatively easy. Like, I think you could beat the Mavericks, even with Kyrie and Luka, but just remove the Mavericks from the equation entirely. We should beat the Magic. We should beat the Suns without KD. We should beat the Thunder. And we should beat the Bulls at home. That's at least 4 games on this homestand. Now, if you beat the Mavericks, you could win all 5, right? Like, you should. And then hopefully LeBron's back for that first road game against the Bulls. Maybe that's enough to get you that win. Now you're on a 6-game winning streak going into the Timberwolves game. You might be in the 6th seed at that point because you might be 4 games over 500. Get the job done. Win the games. Take from their standpoint, they need to take it a game at a time. But if they can take it a game at a time, get the win. The Rockets, I had so many people that season's over, but the season's not over because we lost the Rockets. It'll be fine. The Boston Celtics lost to the Houston Rockets, and they had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Yes, they're in a much better position standing-wise than we are, but still, it's not the end of the world. One game, you're going to lose games. We're not going to go 12-0. Can we? Sure. Realistically, we're not. Even when we had 16 games left, I was like, you can make an argument we can win all 16 games. Are we going to win all 16 games? No, we're not. Very likely, we are not. And look, we've gone 2-2 since since we were at that 16 mark. But even in the last 5, last 6, we're 4-2. So we're 4-2 in the last 6. You'd go that way the rest of the way. You'll be 4 games out over 500 by the time the season's over, and you're good. No, you go 4-2 the rest of the way. We're good. That's all you got to do. Just keep tacking away. Just keep little by little getting the job done, and we'll be in the playoffs. I'm not worried about us making the playoffs. Ideally, I'd like to get in that 6 seed. But, hey, you get in that 7-8 spot, you got to win one game. We'll win one game. And then now you're in the playoffs and you're playing, either the Nuggets, the Kings, or the Grizzlies. So I'm good. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? You think we do it? You think we don't? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below.